Perhaps you think we talk about September seasonality too much, Mark, but I know that thinking about where stocks go in September, you know, with that sort of back-to-school feel is an annual activity. What are you expecting to see in terms of market positioning and market response to the payrolls data that we get on Friday? It seems as if everybody after last month is pretty nervous.
Yeah, they are definitely very nervous, and all the seasonality conversations aren't helping a lot. I think it's hard for non-farm payrolls on the headline to support stocks. I think a negative number a weak number would get people very worried that a recession is coming, the Fed is behind the curve, and therefore stocks weaken. I think if we get a very strong number, well, because rates are now pricing in a very good chance of 50 basis points in September, I think that knee-jerk reaction in rates wouldn't be great for stocks. So I don't see the short-term reaction being particularly supportive for stocks. That said, I do think that, you know, by next week, unless it's a very weak number, if it's either in line or strong, I think stocks will actually do fine again. I do think that the concentration on seasonality this year is particularly intense, but seasonality shouldn't be overinterpreted, and September seasonality is distorted by several particularly dramatic months over the last 25 years.
Mark, Nvidia has come down fairly sharply. The equity market, the S&P, is not following it yet. Will it?
Yes, in direction. In terms of drama, no. I think that we're going to continue to have volatility. I think Nvidia is so important that it's going to kind of weigh on the broader market out there. It's not just that it's weighting; it's that it's representative of the golden darling theme of this year. But I do think that that the rest of the market is unlikely to panic. I just don't see the negative fundamentals there to cause this market to particularly panic. So I think the rest of the market will do fine. Can the rest of the market rally when Nvidia is selling off? Probably pretty hard, but it'll probably do okay.
Mark, I want to ask you about the other part of that August freakout, if we can say, on August 5th, and that kind of carry trade that played a role in it, specifically because as we speak, we are seeing weakness in the Mexican peso and weakness in the dollar, both against the Japanese yen, going back to those levels of August 5th. And I'm curious about your thoughts, now that we're about 30 days out from it, on the carry trade and how much further we have to go on the unwinds.
I think the Mexican peso story is really idiosyncratic here. I mean, sorry, in August it was very much a carry trade unwind. I think right now this is about the judicial reform in Mexico, and I think what's happening there is very much specialized to Mexico and not about a broader carry trade unwind. I do think there's still some lingering carry trade, and I think if you see some dramatic yen moves, we could still have some more pain there, but I'm not sure it's the main dynamic at the moment. At the moment, this is concern about global growth, both around China and a little bit about the US, and that's what's weighing on stocks with a side dose of Nvidia.